Welcome back to the Demon Slayer Gaming Channel. We're going to be continuing our modded challenge run in the Darkest Dungeon. Unfortunately, the audio did not record for this video, so I'm recording it after the fact, so maybe a little delayed. We did unlock the guild and the blacksmith this week, so we'll be able to use those to upgrade our heroes as we're going into the next couple dungeons. Last week did not go well for us, but hopefully we'll be able to make this week go a bit smoother. I'm going to jump over to the stagecoach. We're going to pick up these 4 new heroes here. Alright, look and see what dungeons we have available, see where we want to go. The Archdemon is looking very good, and so we'll be bringing him along. The Samurai, I was looking to see if we had another healer type in here, so we end up having to bring the Vestal along, but the Dusty Habit trinket that we find here does look very good for the keeper, even though we don't have any keepers yet. So we're going to go to the Weald this week. We're going to bring along the werewolf. We're looking for some bleed synergy here. The werewolf does provide a good portion of that. All of the werewolf's abilities have a chance of transforming her from her human form into her werewolf form. And then once she's in her werewolf form, the certain abilities change to other ones. So her main ability, the Bloodshed Claws, it reduces the bleed chance no matter what form she's in. As a human, it just deals damage to the first 2 ranks and has a chance to transform her into her beast form, and then when she's in her beast form, it deals damage to the first 2 ranks and has a chance to bleed them, along with a chance to transform her back into human form. Every time she does transform into her werewolf form, she also does activate her riposte, so that is very beneficial to us also. We weren't bringing a stress healer, and the Samurai has a lot of abilities that just continuously ramp his own stress up, so I did not want to bring him along. Do bring the Archdevil. The Archdevil has every move either moves him forward or moves him back, and so he has moves that are available from the first 2 that move him back, and the moves that are available from the back 2 that move him forward. So we bring a healthy mix of the 2. He also does have some bleed synergy with his claw ability. It is just single target, but it does have a chance to bleed no matter what. It also stealths him, which will help prevent damage on him, so that we're more likely to get damage on our werewolf once she has her riposte up. And then we go ahead and bring the Bounty Hunter in position 3, just for some increase in damage, since he is able to attack from position 3 and hit the first 3 ranks also reliably. So we'll go ahead and unlock all their abilities so that we can decide what we want to use for now. We're finally able to unlock the Vestal's primary abilities here, so we're able to bring both her heals, her stun, and her self-heal, which does damage also. For the Bounty Hunter, we'll be bringing Collect Bounty and Finish him. As the two primary damaging abilities. And then we'll also bring the Come Hither and the Flashbang. So that gives us a stun no matter what position they are, and a pull in case we get stuck where we can't target the last couple of positions. The Werewolf has every position unlocked since it is a transformation class, and all transformation classes come with all their abilities unlocked. And then on the Archdevil, we're going to go ahead and bring the Stout Demon Gigantic Arm. That does mark the target and does really good damage along with moving him back one. And mark synergy with the Bounty Hunter is very nice. And then we're going to bring the Razor Sharp Claws, like I said, for the bleed chance on a single target, since we were going for more of a bleed composition here. And that allows, it also moves him back one. We're going to be going for the Meteor Fall also. It's only usable once per battle from the back two. It does target all enemies, moves him forward one. Has a crazy amount of accuracy and does really good damage, along with having a very high chance to stun. So, reliably going forward, what I'll end up doing is using the Archdevil in position 3 to begin with. And first round, getting the Meteor Fall, massive damage, and party-wide stun off. And then using other abilities to shift in between 2 and 3. I think that's how he'll be the most beneficial. So we're going to take the Demon's Arms along with Hellfire Wall. Gives him 2 abilities in the front, 2 abilities in the back. We don't have the deeds yet to upgrade either the Blacksmith or the guild to have increased rank on their abilities yet. And we also don't have any trinkets that would be beneficial to us at this time. So we're going to go ahead and get our provisions here. We actually do buy provisions like we're going into the Warrens instead of the Weald. So that's a little bit of a mistake on my part, but just getting the two mixed up. The Weald only has one use for medicinal herbs, which is just to get you more food, so that's actually a misbuy. And we should have brought bandages for the Spiderweb curio and anti-venom for the Old Tree curios. And the extra torches that I was bringing were actually for the scrolls that are in the Warrens also. So you don't need to bring this many torches either. The Holy Water is also for a curio that's in the Warrens. Now you can bring at least one Holy Water to every single dungeon, because every dungeon has a chance of spawning one of the ancient idols, I think is what it's called, or ancient relic, something like that. That if you use a holy water on it, it does remove a quirk, so that's always beneficial to have. Right. See what sort of layout we have here. We do need to complete 100% of room battles. Layout's not too bad, and we did get a scout right off the bat, which is nice. We do see that we have 3 fights almost right off the bat though, along with an obstruction right off the bat too, so it's a little annoying. The Graves also use a shovel, so we're going to end up using 2 shovels. As soon as we start this dungeon, we only brought 3, so we'll need to be a little sparing with our 3rd one. Alright, Alright, so the Acolytes are just like the Acolytes in any other dungeon. They're mainly just stress casters. So we'll try and kill them before they get too much stress. The other problem, though, is the ectoplasms that like to spawn more ectoplasms, and they can also spawn proflegic ectoplasms if you give them time to use certain abilities. So it's better to finish them off first, if possible. As long as 4 enemies are alive or every position is full that doesn't include a corpse, then they can't spawn adds. So I could have killed one of the Acolytes first, but that would give them a chance to spawn an ad inside of the Acolyte's position. So I felt like this was the better choice. I do go for a stun here since we are leaving the Acolytes up. I don't want both of them targeting our Vestal. They have a higher chance of targeting the Vestal since she already has a decent amount of stress on her, and they tend to use their stress moves on people that already have a lot of stress. So as you can see here, she ends up getting a massive amount of stress right off the bat. I feel like if we hadn't have done that stun, probably would have ended up with a stress check right on this very first fight. Or at least very, very close to it. Gonna go for another stun, try and prevent even more stress if possible. Go for the finish him since she is stunned, get the extra bonus damage. It's not enough to finish him off, and the werewolf can't hit position 3 or 4 while she's in human form. So I have to just use the claw ability here, try and eat through the corpses. So without the stuns, we most definitely would have gotten a stress check here. Try and pull him forward so that we'll be able to target him, but didn't work out the way we wanted it to. This is when I first realized how overpowered the Meteor Fall is, and so it's when we start kind of abusing it. Just get a good crit there to finish off the fight, a little bit of stress relief. We use the first key here, get some extra goodies out of this chest. And move on to the next fight. All these surprise rounds are really working in our favor. The hit chance is very low on all of these abilities, so we got rather lucky here. That does leave him with 1 health after the bleed would proc, so I go for the stun there to make sure that we get enough damage. But then the werewolf ends up finishing it off, so it was kind of a waste. We are able to finish off all the Webbers though, so no one gets marked, meaning that the spitter won't do double damage to anyone. So the bite that he does do is very minimal. Could have honestly gone for a Meteor Fall there. With how high the accuracy is, it most likely would have, if not one-shotted him, would have stunned him along with dealing damage. But we were able to get out of the fight anyways. We do pick up a second shovel, which is really nice. This is where I realized that I brought the wrong provisions and that we should have brought an anti-venom here. But we're go ahead and use it anyways. Just see if we can get some extra extra loot. The only thing that the tree does is blight you if you don't have the required item and your percent chance that you use wrong or bad. We're not going to touch the Shambler altar right now. We're definitely not prepared for it. So we've got 3 ectoplasms this time. Try and add some stuns in here to reduce the amount of damage we take, but didn't happen. We do get our transformation into beast form here. And then a cytokinesis, which does spawn an additional add. So looking at the Savage Feast here, it does reduced accuracy if the target's not bleeding. We are still able to hit all of them, and it does heal you based on how much damage you do. So it is very nice ability. It does do reduced damage versus non-edible targets, so that I believe that's going to be your stonework enemies. And then it does increase damage versus corpses and has a chance for you to give you rabies, which rabies is a disease that reduces your accuracy but increases your damage. So for the werewolf, it's exclusive as to it's supposed to be a beneficial disease to her compared to other heroes. Alright, so you don't need any items to activate the Ancient Coffins, so we're just going to open it up for some extra goodies. Get another fight with the Treasurer here. And our Archdevil was already in position 4, so we're going to start with the Meteor Fall. So massive damage across the board, massive stuns across the board. Just an all-around amazing ability, which is why it's limited to only once per fight. I'm going to try and finish off the Treasurer here, which we are able to do. Really nice. So it's the first time we're seeing that new modded enemy, and we're able to take him out really quickly. Treasures are just providing extra loot, as you'll see here in a minute. Now they have already been stunned, so they have a massive stun resistance chance. So I'm not going to try and stun with the Vestal, just going to go in with some extra damage. And we're just going to pick these off one by one. Pretty simple, quick fight. Now, as you can see here, we do get this Butcher-only trinket, which looks like it would be because we had the Treasurer, but I can't guarantee that. We did get a couple of the Antiquarian exclusive items, though, which are just used to sell for gold. So those definitely did come from the Treasurer, and that's a little nice addition. Some extra bonus gold. Check the pack, get a map. Scouts are always nice. Grab a free torch, and then clear out this next obstacle. Get another free torch. Almost some extra gold. We like gold. And then we're looking like we're going into a hallway, not a hallway fight, a room fight here. And we've got some spiders. The new modded spiders are definitely a lot worse than the old spiders. They don't do as much damage, but the other mechanics they have are just downright terrible. So we're able to kill one really quickly, but I have yet to finish out what causes this dimensional spider rift to kind of open up and spawn these other ones in, but it does happen to us right here. So what we would have liked to have been a 3v4 fight turns back into a 4v4. Now the stone spiders do stun, so we are trying to take them out next. And they do have a rather low stun resist, so we do try and get a stun on one here. The glass spider has a really low HP, so I tried to go for some damage there. It didn't work out. We do get arachnophobia on the very first hit there, which is really bad for us. That's a exclusive disease for these combats, and man is it bad. Really increases the difficulty of these fights. And the bleed resist on the spiders is pretty high. Go for a party heal. I know that the spider damage can get out of control really quickly, so trying to keep everyone topped off as much as possible. We end up getting a second arachnophobia here, which is, again, really unfortunate for us. We do use our Meteor Fall here, which the block does protect the one. Should have gotten rid of that first before using it, but we are able to get a 3-person stun off, which is really nice. So we're going to try and target and finish off the one that's not stunned. The single point heals are not really doing great for us, but they are keeping everyone relatively high up. Alright, we'll take out 2 of them there at one time. The move resist is actually really high on them, so I'm not sure exactly why I did that. Thinking that I could pull him forward, but didn't work out that way. Now, unfortunately, I'm left with trying to eat through some corpses to reach the back 2. We are able to finish off the glass spiderling. Unfortunately, it does explode when it dies. So even after you finish him, he's still gonna get the last little laugh in at you. Almost always it sets your first target up for your first hero up to be stumbled, where he's gonna shift on his next turn. As you can see, like, happen right there. And it does do party-wide stress. I think it even has a chance to bleed. So kind of debating if I want to switch back to human form here or just move forward. Decide moving forward is the better choice. Again, the single point heals are not helping us much, but the riposte that does some really good damage for us. Able to finish off this glass spiderling also here in just a second. And then we have to deal with the explosion again. But we are down to the last spider here. And we get a nice hit to just finish it off in one go. So the glass flutes do sell for a lot of gold. So we're going to make room for that, along with making room for the deeds here. We do have some extra food, so we go ahead and eat that. And then decide we're going to dump off the blood, I believe, to make room for the flute here, since we're not going to be using blood relatively anytime soon. Now this is the one use that we do have for medicinal herbs in the Weald here. Get us some extra food so we can heal up a little bit. Do have a trap. We have two people with 80% trap disarm, so we'll use the one that has the highest amount of stress so that the disarm will reduce that stress a little bit. This is normally where we would use a bandage. But I'm just looking to see who has the highest disease resist. Since if we fail here, roll bad, get the bad percentage, then we would most likely receive a disease. So we want to resist it if possible. But we get lucky and get the gold. Alright, so we've got the Fungal Artilleries along with Fungal Scratchers here. The Artilleries will mark someone in your party, and that causes the Scratchers to deal extra damage. So as long as no one's marked, the Scratchers are actually very easy to deal with. They just have a lot of protection. So I'm going to try and stun the artillery, prevent the mark from going off. And the artilleries will only use the mark ability while they're in the back two positions. So go ahead and pull the last artillery forward, or do a stun that shuffles them. When they're in the first two ranks, they do a different ability called Escape Cloud. This hits your first two party members and deals minor damage along with a chance to blight. Good 3-person party heal. So they do get a mark off here. So they are going to start doing the Rend the Mark ability for the increased damage. So I switched to a single target heal since it's almost guaranteed that damage is going to be coming exclusively on the werewolf. So we'll need to keep her alive. I'm thinking about the fact that the Archdevil has his big ability coming up. So I'm trying to spread the damage out a little bit so that I can reduce them enough that this move will deal good enough damage to either kill a few enemies or at least provide us with that party-wide stun like it does. So we're able to quickly finish off the last two Scratchers here, which leaves us with just the one artillery in the back. Since he is in the back positions, he will be limited to just doing his Mark Prey ability, which does very little damage, and at this point doesn't matter if we're marked. So we'll just chew through these front corpses and then hit him whenever we can. Alright, we do want both of these, so we need to make room. We only have one curio left. So we're going to use our holy waters here. Could have just dumped them off. At the same time, we'll dump the torches. Then we're going to go ahead and kill the torchlight so that we can get some extra loot from this, which we just get a little citrine. Extra 250 gold. And that covers week 3 for the Darkest Dungeon Challenge run. Not a bad run. Not very many heirlooms. Decent amount of gold. The glass flutes ended up selling for 770 gold each, and we ended up having 2 of them. So that's nice. We do get 1 positive quirk here, which is always beneficial. And that'll be it. Thank you for watching this week of Darkest Dungeon. I'll make sure that you like and subscribe so that you can catch the future episodes coming out. And I'll catch y'all next time.